Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. So Manchester United have made their first signing of the Ruben Amorim era, and that is Patrick Dorgu, who will join the club from Lecce. The young Danish international will join Manchester United, and he's one of those wing-back signings that we have been looking out for. And I'll be getting stuck into the transfer fee, all those kind of things, potential wages as well for a player. People like to discuss those things when Manchester United are involved in a transfer, and we'll be getting stuck into all that. For a player that was believed to be available at around 40 million earlier on in the transfer window, Manchester United have found a decent deal in this transfer. So again, as I said, we'll get stuck into that, but make sure you're keeping it locked by hitting that subscribe button, liking, commenting, and sharing as well. I've been a little bit under the weather. I was ill on the overlap shoot yesterday, so today I had a day off, stayed in bed, relaxed a little bit, and this news has cheered me up a touch because we're seeing Ruben Amorim get a player in a position that we really need. The other day we were talking about it on Stretford Paddock. What kind of players do Man United need? What positions do we need to fill? And wing back was one of those positions, left wing back particularly, and Patrick Dorgu ticks that box for Manchester United. We've seen Terrell Malacia be injured. We've seen Luke Shaw be injured quite consistently, not available for Manchester United. Terrell Malacia just come back from a really big layoff. Obviously, we've been playing Diogo Dalot out there, who's probably more suited to being on the right. So Manchester United need to get someone whose position is left wing back and who can play there on a consistent basis. And it looks like Patrick Dorgu could be that man. And we've also made another signing as well from Arsenal's academy. After Chido Obi Martin joined Manchester United, Aidan Heaven has also joined Manchester United as well, and we'll get stuck into that in a little bit. But the breaking news from Fabrizio Romano, it's been coming through from Damasio and various other different sources throughout the day, is that Patrick Dorgu to Manchester United. Here we go. Verbal agreements in place with Lecce, documents to be checked in the next 24 hours. Fee will be a guaranteed 30 million plus 5 million in add-ons. This is 30 million euros. So in pounds, you're looking at around 25 million pounds with 4 million in add-ons on that. Long-term contract agreed days ago with the player, and it's the first signing for Ruben Amorim. And it's really interesting to see the profile of player that we've signed since INEOS have been here. And whilst I've been very critical of a lot of decisions that INEOS have made whilst they've been at the club, you look at the signings: Chido Obi Martin, 17, Aidan Heaven, as we said, 18, Sekou Kone, 18, Diego Leon, another left back, is 17, and now Dorgu, who's 20 years old. We're buying a lot of players, and obviously there's more to that. Joshua Zirkzee, Matthijs de Ligt as well, Lenny Yoro, another one that you can add into that mix. But you're kind of seeing the young players that we're targeting with Wilcox and Vavel and everyone involved in those transfers. And it's good to see, you know, Manchester United preparing for the future and bringing in younger players that you can bring into the club, hope that they fulfill their potential at Manchester United. And if they don't, you can probably sell on for a profit anyway. So with PSR rules, it's pretty good for us to be doing that as well. But this is how the day has developed. Earlier we heard from Damasio that Manchester United were defining Sorry, I need to sort myself out. Obviously, a little bit of man flu, so let me off. The last details, overpayment terms for Patrick Dorgu on a deal worth 30 million euros plus 7.5 million in add-ons. Then we saw some fans reacting to that, and Fabrizio Romano replied saying, well, actually, it could be a little bit cheaper, and that's what we're seeing is 25 with a potential for 4 million in add-ons. So that was good news for Manchester United fans, that we heard that we'd, you know, kind of made a good deal for the player. Then we heard he'd sign a 5-year contract, probably with an option for an extra year. His starting salary will be around 1.6 million per year, and then 2.5 million per year in the final year of his contract. And that came from Italian sources via Sport Witness. Now, if that's to be correct, and I mean, you know, we've heard a lot of people running around saying Anthony's wages were 200k a week. When he finally leaves and we find out the agreement details of Real Betis, we find out that he's on £105,000 per week or something. Now, still a lot of money, but not the double that people were reporting previously to that. But it's around £30,000 pounds per week, which for a player of that age that you're bringing in and coming to Manchester United, you know, we've not had our pants pulled down on wages or transfer fee, so that is also good to see. And some stats for you. I know all you guys at home, you love a little bit of stats. Comparing Dorgu to the other fullbacks in the top 5 leagues in Europe. In terms of the shots he has per 90 minutes, 1.65. That's in the 95% percentile for fullbacks. Shot creating actions, that's 2.37 per 90 minutes, which is in the 68 percentile for fullbacks. Progressive passes, 2.27. That's in the 9 percentile versus other fullbacks. Progressive carries, 2.68, is in the 79 percentile. Touches in the attacking penalty area is 2.4, which is in the 88 percentile. Progressive passes, 5.63, 79 percentile. Tackles, 2.06, 93, but that is against wingers. When we're making these comparisons, obviously, sorry that I haven't got a credit for whose stats these are, but obviously they compare them to wingers. And his clearances and interceptions are also quite high up in terms of the percentile as well. And when you watch videos of him, and look, I'm basing this off a number of videos I've watched on Twitter and on YouTube, so I've not got a whole host of knowledge on the player. But you're looking at those videos and he looks like the kind of player that we need. Someone that's physical, someone that's aggressive into the tackle, someone that makes interceptions, someone that carries the ball forward very, very quickly as well and tries to make things happen in the final third. And he looks like a player that could fit into that left wing back position. Good news for Manchester United as well. Obviously, Lecce haven't been involved in European football this year, so he'll be able to play in the Europa League once we re-register our squad for the knockout stages of that tournament, which will obviously happen after the next game against Steaua Bucharest. It'll be interesting to see if this is made official in time for him to potentially be available for that game on Sunday, and whether the manager rushes him into starting that game as well would be very, very interesting to see how that one goes down. But Patrick Dorgu signing the deal to become a Manchester United player is a player that, in terms of profile anyway, that most Manchester United fans have wanted to see us sign. And it looks like one that is going to be happening and be made official very, very soon. So Ruben Amorim getting his first signing through the door. Man United have also reached full agreement, and this came via Academy Scoop, who was before Fabrizio Romano and before all those other big heads as well. So shout out Finn at Academy Scoop. Manchester United have reached a full agreement to sign Arsenal defender Aiden Heaven, beating Barcelona and Eintracht Frankfurt to the 18-year-old signature. He's considered first team cover signing and will provide competition cover for Lisandro Martinez, which, we've got Lindelof, who's leaving the club at the end of the season on a free transfer. We play 3 centre-backs. We've got Lenny Yoro, Lisandro Martinez, Matthijs de Ligt and Harry Maguire. So you can obviously do with maybe another one in there, because if you're to suffer injuries, then you just have the 3 centre-backs. Obviously, we've got a few lads that are coming through Manchester United's academy as well. What will that mean for them? But it's interesting that Manchester United are scooping up Arsenal players, and Arsenal fans will have you believe that it's because United are offering them more money and that, or they don't want the players. Aiden Heaven and Chido Obi Martin, they both made offers to keep them at their club, and they've seen that there's a pathway to the first team at Manchester United, and they'd rather be in Manchester United's academy rather than Arsenal's, which has to be good news for Manchester United fans when you hear that young players want to join us from one of our rivals. But yeah, all a very interesting day in terms of signings. Now I think Ruben Amorim needs a lot more. We needed probably a centre forward. Evan Ferguson's apparently available. Now I know we've got 2 young centre forwards, but you look at them, Rasmus Højlund's struggling at the moment, and I think Joshua Zirkzee is kind of finding his feet. But even when Joshua Zirkzee has good games, right, he's very unlikely to score. He's one of those strikers that's going to try and create things and bring others into play a little bit more than he's probably going to be more selfish for himself and get those goals. Evan Ferguson's the profile of striker that I think would fit in at Manchester United. Obviously, he's young, so do you want to bring in another young striker, or do you want to get someone that's a little bit more experienced? Obviously, he's had injury issues as well. But if United could get a deal where it's a loan with maybe an option at the end of that loan deal, and I know it's weird to be loaning players from Brighton, but if we could make that kind of deal happen, I'd be all for it. I like Evan Ferguson. I like the idea of having another Irishman playing for Manchester United. It's been a while since we had that. So yeah, with all that being said, it would be nice to see Manchester United make that happen, but I don't think Man United will be in the market for Evan Ferguson, to be totally honest with you. Matis Tels has been made available by Bayern Munich as well. I think he's potentially leaving in this January transfer window. Again, profile of player that you'd like to see Manchester United go for, but again, you're hearing the likes of Chelsea are interested in him, and Manchester United, without making a sale like Alejandro Garnacho, probably have done their budget in terms of bringing Patrick Dorgu in. Whilst it was a good deal for us, money is tight at Manchester United at the moment. So Patrick Dorgu is basically a red. Let us know your thoughts on him in the comments below. Make sure you're keeping it like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.